Um, Segueing into this part, you were speaking about energetic cords and how they can affect us when it comes to soulmates at times. Can you talk a little bit more about that and how those things can when we hold on or give too much?
Yes, I'm going to talk about a few instances, like, and
Mm-hmm.
give you an example of what you'd be experiencing when these things happen, so you know, like, if this is happening to you, then you will be experiencing this. And
Mm-hmm.
so one of the things that I find is sometimes when you're walking away from somebody and you're long past them and
Mm-hmm.
you're thinking in your mind, I wonder what happened to that person. I wonder if they ever
Mm-hmm.
stopped having that problem with their parent or with their girlfriend or with their, and then you're just constantly cycling that again and again in your mind,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Yeah.
so that's when you have a compassionate connection with somebody. So basically, you're sending them energy on a level of action through your thought, and you're saying, yeah, I hope they get better. Oh, I hope that changes for them. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I wish that they do this. Oh, I wish they do that. But like, it's like a little cord like through your mind that feeds them energy that really doesn't do anything for them. It don't change their situation, it doesn't help them, it does nothing.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a cycle of worry that feeds somebody else in some way, but through the level of compassion. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's one way. And so if you find yourself like still, those things can go on for years. You could have that when you were a young adult or a teenager with somebody, and you could be in your adulthood and people think, oh, this is just nostalgia, right? But
And
it's
and how
not.
and how does that affect you as an individual?
It takes your vital force energy. And
Mm,
that's your connection to God. That's your physical energy. That's your energy to manifest for your life. And if you're thinking on behalf of somebody else constantly, how can
mm-hmm.
you be focusing on yourself?
What if it's coming from a place of like love?
Compassion is through love, but like,
Mm-hmm.
our compassion and our love doesn't need to be expressed through like a cycle of worry where you actually connect to somebody. Like, we're all connected, right? Even though
Mm-hmm.
we're all energetically in our own integrity with our own boundary and our own qualities, expressing our own unique experience, right? But we're all
Mm-hmm.
part of one, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But anything beyond that is not appropriate because our energy belongs in ourself, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We do not owe anybody our energy, our thoughts, or anything. They have the power to think for themselves. Us
Correct.
thinking for them just because it's love doesn't, it's
What
just not appropriate. Like,
what if it comes from, let's say, like a memory of like a moment you shared and you think of that person and it's like,
oh, that's
oh God.
different.
Okay.
That's just a memory. Yeah.
Okay.
This would be like, like
Because
when it,
sometimes those memories bring us like, man, I remember
yeah,
that moment that I shared with that
and you
person and I
feel
felt
good about that.
absolute love.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's normal.
Okay.
That's normal. That's like a glimmer, of something that
Gotcha.
was a good thing.
Yeah.
Just as long as you're not constantly going back to the past and not feeling happy in your present life.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
like,
wanted to clarify that for
yeah,
people
thank
because
you
like
for
I know
that.
some people like be like, well, what if I was thinking of that person I felt love and like I'm not supposed to think of them? Like, so I just wanted to clarify. But yeah,
Yeah, no,
continue,
that's
go for it.
fine. It's just like when it happens in the beginning and
Mm-hmm.
you have that, it's like kind of like when you start talking to somebody and you keep on thinking about their situation when they're going through something, and
Yeah.
like you're doing stuff and you're constantly like, oh, I wonder if they're okay right now.
That
If everything's all right, and it just keeps on
mm-hmm.
going and going and going. That means that there is like an energetic cord where you're feeding that compassion through worry into them.
Mm.
And so it's taking from you when that happens. And so, like,
Mm.
later on, if you see yourself and that comes up, that's your energy showing you, or your higher self showing you that, hey, this is still present. This needs to go. It needs to
Yeah.
be acknowledged and you need to remove